Hello, people of the internet. This is your boy Trop. We're back with another video, something different, some shite talk. Joined today by a voice you might recognize if you're an OG to this channel. His name is Bread. He also goes by Brownerzz Bullet or something like that on YouTube. And yeah, fucking introduce yourself, you shit cunt.
Hi guys, how are you doing? I hope everyone's doing well during these tough times in quarantine. Thank you very much for having me back on. It's been a long while since I've been on this channel. Of course, our legendary COD rant is still synonymous with the channel, even though your channel's been deleted and reinstalled more times than Roman Grosjean has crashed in Formula 1.
Jesus.
Yeah, so big news. The big news broke last night at about what, 3 o'clock last night on Twitter. It had a meltdown.
Something like that. Yeah, basically, myself and our Breading here, we have a mutual liking for Formula 1. Although he supports the wrong driver, but we'll just let him off with that one.
Red Bull Max Verstappen is an absolute god. Fucking at me on Twitter, everyone. All right, I will defend Verstappen. Okay, I'm sitting here in my Aston Martin Red Bull Racing Polo as well. You know, I'm representing right now. You know, Max is good. Red Bull will have another championship in their belt soon. Don't at me on that one.
1 second.
But yeah, I am a Red Bull fan. Oh, God bless Red Bull.
There you go.
And it's
didn't mean to add you there.
Oh, so I've just got live tweeted during a video.
But
Max is a shy cunt XD. That gets a heart from me.
But basically,
Brilliant.
we're just going to discuss the fact that fucking Sebastian Vettel has decided to call it a day with Ferrari, which is very sad, I think, because he wanted to pretty much emulate Michael Schumacher and try and at least win the championship with them, but unfortunately it never happened because, well, between them having a kind of unreliable car to start the whole Mercedes fucking dynasty, if you will. And
yeah, you're talking 2014-15 when Red Bull's dominance ended after the Ford title, and then you're talking the Mercedes era.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And then between that, fighting in 2017 and 2018, and then unfortunately Spinella comes into effect, and Ferrari's absolute bottle job with every single strategy in the world. But yeah, basically,
yeah,
I have a few talking points here. God knows if I'll stick to them as much, but yeah, basically they decided to part ways after their negotiations broke down or something like that. I was going through Twitter last night, as you were saying, around 12:30, 1 o'clock, and it was
rumors.
big speculation. Then this morning that came up, it was like, oof. That's a big oof because he was a good driver with them.
He was.
I'd say one of the main things I'm going to guess with the same thing with Ricciardo moving to Renault. Was it 2 years ago now?
Yeah,
Something like that. It was,
2 seasons now.
It was pretty much. I'm just going to guess it was the fact that they're after giving Charles a big fuck off contract till 2024.
5 years, yeah, 5 years.
And it's almost exactly like them signing a big contract for Verstappen. Then Ricciardo kind of wanting to
leave. It's very. Looking at it from a Red Bulls fan point of view, before we switched to the Honda power unit, the Ricciardo leaving to Renault, this is nearly eerily similar, but we don't know where Vettel's going to end up, but it's eerily similar to how the change is happening. Ricciardo left because they put their faith into Verstappen, they put so much money. It's well documented in Drive Survive how it's all about Max. And Ricciardo, he doesn't play it off, but I think it's obvious if you look at it really deeply that he was definitely put out by it, regardless of what people say. And he had the car and he had the talent to win the world championship. It didn't work for him in the end after so many years. And I think then that was just at this point he's like, I need a new challenge. So Renault were up and coming. They're back to doing well, although they've not been great. last season was very middling for them. I think personally,
Like,
they did not do great.
considering the fact that McLaren are running Renault power units and they still managed to beat them in the constructors. Sainz finished best of rest that year in 7th, I think. Sixth
Yeah,
or
it was
7th.
no, it was the battle for P7 in Abu Dhabi. It was P7, but it just shows though, like that the Renault power unit is good, but the car for Renault is not in compared to what McLaren had built. Their
Exactly.
chassis was miles beyond the Renault chassis.
Considering what was, I think it was last year when they did announce the new team principal, Seidel, I think his name was.
Yeah,
I
aside
don't
when
know,
Zach Brown left, yeah.
yeah, and I don't know if you know, but he was the main guy behind Porsche 919 with their absolute fucking dominance in the endurance championship, winning Le Mans
Ooh,
3 or 4 years on the bounce, I think.
that's very interesting.
Still one of my fucking all-time favorite cars, not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, that is a lovely car. But that is a tangent. But I think that is a fair analysis though of the driver move. The big thing now for Vettel is, and I think still in the terms of his with the Ferrari deal, is that they both said it. It's Vettel said it himself. I think on his Instagram. It was not about money. It
Oh,
wasn't to do anything with that, which is a good sign to see
yeah.
that it wasn't a money deal, which shows Vettel doesn't really care about the money. He just wants to drive, which is great.
Yeah.
It's I think too maybe it's a bit of anger and frustration from Vettel that he just couldn't get the car to where it really should have been to challenge Mercedes. They were getting outdone by Red Bull. I think it's a bit of frustration, and Leclerc, this whole narrative, like even Leclerc posted now saying there was never anything bad between them. He said on his Instagram that there was no tense moments. We all seen Brazil this or 2019, like we all thought the Ferrari civil war was going to happen this year, but obviously the big bad virus changed everything.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen anything yet. It would have been interesting to see off the start of the season if it was normal. Would we have had that boil over from Interlagos going into Australia this year? It would have been very interesting, I think.
It would have been. Like, I'm just literally pulling up a quote here that I do believe that Leclerc he posted up on his Twitter. Just reading here's a quote. It's been a huge honour for me to be your teammate. We've had some tense moments on track, some very good ones, and some others that didn't end as well as we both wanted. But there was always respect, even though it wasn't perceived that this way from the outside. So, fair play to Leclerc posting that, saying that pretty much that no matter what happened on track, they're still like going to be friends or whatever. I guess if that's what you can take from it. But
no, like I can see that. Like I could see that though. Like yeah, look, they had the big track blow ups, and we all know what happened to Brazil, and there was the Singapore tire strategy where Vettel jumped Leclerc, and Leclerc was on the radio, and in Russia you had the whole they fucked up the switching, and then Vettel's engine failed. And that's of course we got to bring back the V12 quotes or the V10s. He said it was the V10s. Yeah, bring back the V10s.
I think it was V10s. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I wonder who that sounds like. I think something like a GP2 and GP2.
GP2.
Oh, Lando.
Or Alonso, you mean?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Lando Alonso.
Oh yeah. Yeah, good old Alonso, especially when I think one of the best ones of that is when they ask him how the car feels in a formation lap, and he just tells them it's much slower than before. I think that's a very good one.
I can't wait for his autobiography if it's going to be something similar to fucking what Kimi has at the back of it.
Oh, that'd be amazing. I'd love to see him absolutely rip the piss out of McLaren Honda's days when in just a full 2-3 chapters just laying into them. Although I don't think he will, because he is very still close to McLaren. The power unit didn't work. That was the problem. But other than that, I think he's still very close to McLaren.
Yeah, like if I'm fairly certain now, if McLaren never wanted to go back to the glory years with Senna with the Honda power. I don't think he would have moved there, and then God knows what would have happened. He'd be all over the shop. But
yeah,
to continue on from what I was gawking at, or what I've written here, anyways, that according to Motorsport Italia and probably 2 or 3 other sources, that Carlos Sainz may be signed within the next 48 hours. And as of this is recording on Tuesday, the God knows what fucking date it is, the 12th, at about 5-ish o'clock. So that might happen. I'd like that, but at the same time, I'd rather him stick out another year at McLaren just so they can continue to rebuild.
Yeah.
But I think from what everyone's saying, and this is just speculation at the moment, that he will be signed to Ferrari. But
Yeah, I'm agreeing you on the same page. I think that too. I think Sainz needs another year at McLaren, help them get back to where they should be. And I don't think throwing Carlos Sainz, who in fairness is even in Renault he did very good with them. Throwing him into a team that's going to be expecting a lot of him. Even McLaren did as well, in fairness, and he proved them that he can get it.
yeah, like
But
sure,
I don't.
Yeah, you got the podium in Brazil then after Hamilton's
penalty when he
10-second
spun
penalty.
Albon.
Yeah.
5 seconds left to spin an Albon at the hairpin in Sector 2.
Jeez,
Sainz for me.
Research.
Yeah, I know. Sainz for me, it's look, if he gets it, like he's a talented driver. I think he fully deserves a top seat, 100%.
Oh, definitely.
And he will get there in the next few years. I think maybe it's a bit too early yet, and then because this leads into the transfer rumors.
Oh,
it's the big three so far that everyone's listening. I'm looking now. I've got the Daily Express up here. I've got GP fans. They're just talking about all the drivers, but the main three. Hamilton's been thrown around, but he states that he's not going to leave.
No, there's another thing with Hamilton. Since I'm fairly sure you know that Toto Wolff might be moving to what is now Racing Point, which will be changing to Aston Martin.
Because of the Lawrence
22 or something like that.
Yeah, in 2022 when the Lawrence Stroll consortium goes through fully.
Yeah.
So
it'd be interesting to see what happens then if Hamilton moves to that team or Aston Martin fucking Racing Point, Force India, whatever the fuck you call it these days. I
think it's just going to be rebranded to fully Aston Martin Racing.
Yeah. Which also puts on another slight tangent of who's going to be the title sponsor for Red Bull then, considering they're already been sponsored by Aston Martin. Which is very interesting to hear, but
it will be. But what I've heard from what I've seen from the Red Bull sphere, so to say, is that I think it'll just be, instead of how they have the Aston Martin badge on the wing, it'll be just a Honda logo, which I think a lot of people are saying, and I think that's what will happen fully, definitely, and I think that will show through.
Yeah, like I know a few years ago when they were, when Aston Martin released the Valkyrie, I think they had Adrian Newey, the head honcho for the chief designer for Red Bull, actually designing it.
Yeah,
which
they did. The Valkyrie was
definitely
insane.
Fucking interesting considering all he's done, pretty much most of his professional life has been designing F1 cars.
Yeah,
he's like there's a video I watched by a book by the name of Aidan Millward. I don't know if you've heard of him.
No.
But he does a lot of like videos about like different events that happen in motorsport and all that, and I'll send you a link afterwards. But he did one about Adrian Newey and how he was the I think he's the only person in F1 has won so many world championships like for designing cars. Because I know he's at least won 4 with Red Bull, and I think he's won a lot more, another 3 or 4 back in the day as well. So.
Yeah, like I think then that this is just the Vettel news has just blown the door open on the silly season. Like we're talking right, if it goes through what they're saying, the rumors are true. So we're seeing a Sainz to Ferrari.
Yeah, that
leaves a McLaren seat open.
And apparently, from what I was reading, Danny Rick isn't happy at Renault as well. So I think he might move to McLaren.
I would see that, but he also openly said he wants to go back to Red Bull, and I think the way Red Bull have improved from when he left them, he has it there now. He has the car there to challenge Max fully, even though that car is built for Max. We've seen that with Gasly, and he didn't really adapt to it, but we've seen Albon adapted to it more.
Yeah.
And then that flings open the Red Bull door. A lot of rumours from what I've seen of, like, a lot of talk about Kvyat maybe ending it because he's not got really anywhere, and the only thing I could see if Ricardo wants to return to Red Bull and they give him the big money move and Horner goes through with it, is I see in terms of the AlphaTauri team, Gasly's keeping his seat.
Yeah.
But I'd say Kvyat's been there far too long. He's not proved himself. Yeah, he got a P3 in Germany in 2019, but that was so all over the place that even Kubica got P10 in the Williams. That was the worst car in the last few years for them. So Kvyat is probably, if this swings open the Red Bull, my personal view is Kvyat's getting dropped from Tauri altogether. You've got Albon will be going back to AlphaTauri with Gasly, and you'll have Ricardo re-partner with Verstappen.
That would be spicy though.
It would be.
I want to wait out how many races we have this year, whenever it starts. I think it starts in the middle of July from what I was looking.
Yeah, Austria, the Red Bull Ring is going to be the first one, and then it's going from there.
I'd love to see I'd love to see the rest of this year with Albon and Verstappen in the same car and see how much more Albon can push on Verstappen and see if he gets an extension on his contract.
That will decide his seat, 100%. The rest of this season, whenever it starts, it's going to decide Albon's seat.
Like before this alcohol virus kicked off, a lot of contracts were out at the end of this year anyway, so it was inevitable all this was going to happen. But since this whole thing is just made the entire fucking world a massive end up being a massive clusterfuck.
Yeah.
God knows what's going to happen, because you see, there's another thing is like let's just say the contracts to finish the end of this year, so more than likely be at the end of the calendar year, and let's just say if there's going to be if it's going to be a race or two in January, then God knows what's going to happen to them. They're going to have to sign an extra couple of months onto it, or because I can hardly see at the end of, if there's another race, let's just say Brazil, Abu Dhabi in January, middle of January or whatever, I can't see Sainz finishing all the races with McLaren and then moving to Ferrari then. For like the last 2 or 3. I don't see that happening, but I could be wrong. Saying that, I could be wrong with Sainz moving to fucking Ferrari
it's pure speculation. Like, that's the thing we want to reiterate. It is speculation coming out at the moment. It's almost like transfer deadline day in the Premier League. It's pure speculation. It almost is.
Although it's
like
more exciting.
Looking at the the rumours, like, I know the Ricardo one would be interesting, but I don't see it happening. I think he wants to go back to Red Bull. He knows them too well to not go back there, and he has a connection with the team. Sainz, I can see happening. I think a lot of people are forgetting the fact Giovinazzi in the Alfa Romeo team technically holds the Ferrari seat. Kimi is just there. Driver, Kimi's there as just a driver. He's nothing else left. Giovinazzi holds the Ferrari seat, and if you see a Giovinazzi move, it opens up another seat. So then you've got Kubica is the reserve driver and the test driver. So does that mean a Robert Kubica could return? It also opens up the door to Nico Hülkenberg. It's a weird one. Bottas as well. I see a lot of rumors that Bottas may get dropped from Mercedes, and you might see Vettel come in. Russell as well. If Russell has a good season and scores a point or two, and when we go live at race and we see how this Williams car for 2020 is, like, it's going to see Bottas could be out the window, that he's not been able to keep up with Lewis. I love him as a driver.
Oh, he's a great driver.
But he doesn't have it in him to take on Lewis. Whereas Seb in one last season against Lewis in the same car could give us the best title battle we've had in the longest year, and it would be Mercedes dominance, but it would be so interesting to see Seb trying to win that last title before he leaves. I'd love to see it personally.
I'd love to see him as a 5-time world champion as well.
Yeah, no, I think he deserves
more
it.
Than give him his due. He already has 4 championships, so he could realistically turn around tomorrow and say, I'm going to, after this season, I'm going to call it whatever. I'm going to call it a day. There was a lot of quotes about him as well, saying that he was pretty much wants to spend more time at home or whatever as well.
Yeah, he does.
Like, something that another one I pulled up here, basically saying that he hinted today's in the official statement that what's been happening in the past few months has led many of us to reflect on what our real priorities are in life, and pretty much all that. So what I can gather from that is that he kind of wants to spend more time at home, eventually.
Yeah, he's got 2 kids as well, like, so that throws in the question as well of what he's gonna do. And another outside shout then, Fernando Alonso said he wants to return to F1 eventually, and there's a Ferrari seat there for him. Now he had his ups and downs with Ferrari, but there's a seat with a decent Ferrari team side. Alonso wants to do 1 or 2 more seasons and then finally retire from everything.
I don't. Unless fucking Kimi retires at the end of this season or next season, Hamilton retires at the end of his contract, which I don't see that happen. He'd be fucking racing long after we're dead at this stage.
Yeah,
and if Vettel retires as well, then there's 3 seats open there. He can eventually push in for one of them. Red Bull don't want him. That's not even a rumor. That's just fact. Red Bull don't want him. I don't see him fitting with Mercedes. I don't see him going back to Ferrari again because he already spent 3 or 4 years. And he had his trouble. And I definitely don't think he's going back to an Alfa Romeo or Sauber or whatever they're called as well. There's not a lot that happening.
The one seat that opens up if Sainz goes, and I could see Alonso, if Sainz goes and that McLaren seat opens up and you don't see Hülkenberg come back somehow, Alonso is a prime take for that seat. He's still close to McLaren. They'd love to have him back. His knowledge he can pass down to the team and Lando Norris as well would be instrumental, I think, in fully getting them back up to the top of the midfield, which I think where they'll belong.
Yeah.
Fully.
It's
very...
You go on.
It's very weird. We were expecting some news eventually with contracts, but I think this is just thrown off and so, just all online, looking at the different articles. A lot of them say the same thing, but it all opens up this door now of silly seasons just starting, and you're talking about insane driver moves. You could have Vettel at Mercedes if Bottas gets dropped. Bottas could go to Ferrari. You could have him. Bottas could go to McLaren. You could see Russell brought up, and then there's a Williams seat open there. Hülkenberg has stated he wants to return. He misses it desperately. Kubica's still doing testing, and I mean, in fairness to the man, after that crash, if he wanted to come back, he came back and did it with Williams. Now they got awful, but he stuck it out, and to be able to drive a Formula 1 car after that crash that he had suffered, it's still mental respect to him. And if he wants to race, I'd say that fully there's a seat for him somewhere.
Oh yeah, sure.
Maybe back at Williams.
I don't know if it might have been yesterday or the day before. I was scrolling through Twitter as I always do, and they were saying mad fucking respect to him for crashing heavily in Canada.
That was a horrific one. Canada was bad. I can't remember
what year it was. Then the next year coming back and winning it.
Yeah, and the rally crash was the bad one though. Very bad.
Was the bad one. That was the one who did all the damage. But saying that, apparently, whenever DTM fucking starts up the German touring cars, he has a seat there.
Yeah, no, I think they want him in DTM badly, which I think I could see him doing because he's more comfortable driving DTM than Formula 1. Yeah. Although in saying that, he still did fine in Williams.
It'd be a lot less pressure on him as well, because it's not a series you hear about every day of the week.
No, it's not.
But still, it's a series worth watching, actually, if you enjoy cars like that, fucking crashing into each other.
Yeah. Personally, my take fully is, I'd love to see Vettel against Lewis and let Bottas go.
Oh, I think anyone would love to see Vettel against Lewis.
One last season. It's going to be a short one, but it'll be epic. Let them fight it out to the bitter end. Don't have them be on with team orders telling them to back off. Let them race each other. Let them do Lewis and Nico from, I think, 2014 Spanish Grand Prix. Let them take each other out. Let them dive down corners on each other. Let them go hell to leather at them. And we will be able to watch some of the best racing before one of the greatest drivers retire. And this brings me to another point as well with Vettel. It's just people on Twitter, and I saw a lot in the YouTube comments of when F1 restreamed the 2012 Brazilian Grand Prix, Michael Schumacher's last race, and when Vettel won his third world title, and the abuse people gave Vettel in comments, and I still see it on the meme videos of him spinning, and the race highlights Italy and then Bahrain. They're big examples. People say, "Oh, Seb can't deal with pressure." Seb, all these well, I like to term them new fans because let's be honest, Drive Survive has dragged in a lot of new fans.
Oh,
They haven't really
it
been
has.
into sport. And they just look at Vettel and they're like, he's a washed-up battle job, he's just going to retire and he's shit. You go and watch 2012 Brazil. Vettel spun on near the end of the start of lap 2. He spins back of the grid. It was an absolute calamity. Alonso was looking set to win. He was in the clear, and Vettel drove back to still win a title. So anyone that says to me, "Oh, Vettel can't handle pressure," go watch 2012 Brazil. Come back to me and tell me Sebastian Vettel can't do pressure in that situation. That is a load of shit, in my opinion.
And you know what?
I don't.
Go on.
No, I'm finished.
Oh, fair enough. Oh, it reminds me of the good old COD days of just you ranting for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But no, basically, I was just about to say, I think it was Canada 2011. I think it was, where Jenson Button, when he was teammates with Lewis.
Yeah, in McLaren.
Hit Lewis. We had a drive through, ended up being a lap behind at one stage. Final lap, I think he was... It was the last lap anyways. And he was second. I think he was behind Vettel. I'm not too sure if it was Vettel or it was someone else, but whoever it was anyways spun. I think it might have been Vettel, come to think of it, but still, if you want like racing like that.
I'm just pulling up the 2011 Canadian Grand Prix results.
I think
Button
it was
won
2011.
it. Button won it.
Yeah. That's
He
what
came
I meant,
back to win it in the end.
He was a lap down at least at one stage or another.
He was a lap behind about halfway through the Grand Prix.
But that was a fucking brilliant race. Like, it's the longest race that's ever gone on. It's like 4.5 hours or something. With like red flags and all that. But Jesus, it was a fucking race and a half.
Yeah, it was an absolutely mental race.
And if you are new and you want to watch Formula 1, 2012, I'll say no more.
Oh yeah.
Our Lord and Savior, Pastor Maldonado, winning in Spain.
I'll never forget that. Yeah,
the GOAT.
I mean, in terms then of other, I mean, for me, if you're trying to get into the new era straight away, you're just trying to get up to speed with the new era. Just go watch Hockenheim 2019. That's all I need to say. That race.
Well, that was a fucking race.
You had everything. You had so many cars in contention for podiums. You had Williams scoring their only point of the season. You had so much stuff. You had fuck-ups and strategies, fucked up pit stops. The race was a mess, but it was the most entertaining 2-3 hours Formula 1 I've watched in a long while.
I think just on the whole 2019 season, from the race I think it was France, then it went to Austria. Just from Austria onwards, that was a good fucking season. That was a good, was it half a season, maybe 3/4 of one? But just ignore Abu Dhabi because it's a shit track.
Yeah. I'm just, Sky Sports are just after putting out a tweet, who will be Ferrari's next F1 driver, with images of Sainz and Ricciardo. So, I mean, they're picking already. It seems to be set in stone. It's going to be one of the two, and I think that's where it is heading.
Yeah.
And then that is going to swing the door open for ridiculous driver transfers. And something I think we've missed, I think a lot of people are missing then. If you're going to be pulling open so many doors like that, then I think a lot of people are forgetting about the F2 driver pool. Where you're going to see, who's going to be coming up from F2, looking here.
One name that's been thrown around so much, and you know it, and I know it, and I know it, and you know it. He just happens to be the son of some fella by the name of Michael Schumacher, if you know him.
Yeah.
I don't know
I see him here.
Mick Schumacher.
Yes, that guy. I forgot he was a racer.
Yeah, no, he won F3 2 years ago. Went into F2 last year. Didn't have the best season. I think he did get 2 or 3 podiums, if even that. But they're saying that he'll end up getting a seat eventually, but I think he's way too young for that yet.
Oh yeah, he has the Schumacher legacy in his back.
Yeah,
he's driving for Prima. He has the Ferrari Academy, the Ferrari seat, and his name are synonymous. So obviously he's going to be there eventually. I don't see him going to Ferrari. I see him having him be like a Giovinazzi. He's going to go to Alpha for a season or two,
Oh yeah,
and then have the Ferrari seat there, then go up.
That's exactly what's going to happen. It's like,
There's no real like main F2 driver like what they like. We had Russell and Norris and Albon come through, but like the rest of them, like looking through, like Sean Galeo's been there for I don't know how long, and he's always been a Ferrari boy, but he's never been there. Dan Ticktum somehow got back into fucking racing, which is beyond me at this stage.
I'm just waiting for Ranganathan to come back as well. If you don't know who he is,
Oof.
my God, you're in for a fucking surprise. They had to make a rule. They actually had to make a fucking rule in F2, or in general, that if because he got so many penalty points, I do believe it's 12 the limit you're allowed for a year.
Yeah.
He got 12 halfway through the first part of the season, anyways. Had to miss out on the weekend, and then at the end of the fucking year at Abu Dhabi, sure didn't he get another 12 fucking penalty points? And because he literally managed to get through a loophole or something like that, it was to miss the next event, not the next race. So he still ended up taking part in the final race, which is
he's a special breed of person. I'd like to call him personally.
Oh yeah. There's
one driver from F2 I'd love to see maybe come up and get his chances. Definitely Artem Markelov. I think I don't really watch F2 a lot now, but I think in terms of just like looking at results, Markelov I think has definitely been smothered under the last few years with your Norris, your Russell, your Albon, all of them. Whereas now he has the chance. I think him and Mick Schumacher. Like there's a few other big names. Luca Ghiotto's still there. Like he can definitely come up through. Like he's on the Haas. He's on the Haas development program. Delatrans is in there. Jack Aitken is still there. Like there's a lot of big names this year. And I think you're going to see a very interesting Formula 2 season, which, depending on who wins, could see another rookie driver come up through. And I'd love to see some more rookies on the grid just to shake things up. Some big transfers, shake it all up. With the new regs. You could be looking at a new sport basically.
Yeah, like I have the results from last year pulled up. Sure, Nick De Vries, he's in Formula E. Well, he was meant to be racing in Formula E this year, but with everything that's going on now, he couldn't really do anything.
Yeah.
And Latifi is now with Williams, so he's and it's kind of one of those jobs where in a team in the last like 3 or 4 years who already had a Canadian in it, another Canadian going through. But I'm not going to read too much into that at the same time.
Yeah, well, I mean, my opinions on Williams personally, sooner Claire Williams steps down and stops fucking going on about family legacy and hands over the team control to someone who can actually do it right. The problem with her is you watch it in Drive Survive or any, like, there's good documentaries on YouTube. I think one is called The Rise and Fall of Williams, like a 45-minute video I watched. But the problem with her is she runs that team like a fucking company. Latifi's a paid driver. I do understand we need paid drivers to keep the teams and grids going big. Latifi's paid. Kubica was really only there for the Orlan sponsor.
You had oil money.
Stroll for the Martini sponsor.
I don't even know. So, he was not even Martini. Martini were there a long time before fucking.
Oh, they were. Yeah, they were there in the massive Bottas days.
They were. Jesus Christ.
I thought they were brought in by Lawrence Stroll though.
No.
The consortium he led.
I don't know. I think it was the I don't know actually, to be honest with you. But basically, sure. If you recognise back in the late 80s and the early 90s with the rallycross and all those old, like the fucking Lancia rally cars and all that, sure they had Martini painted all over them.
But that car was still nice.
Sports car days, they had Martini painted all over it, which is disappointing because that was one of the last of the iconic sponsors really on the grid.
Yeah, true.
Obviously, like Red Bull and stuff like that, but just the title sponsors, one of the last that were just brilliant. Like it was recognizable. If that's probably the best thing to say.
Yeah, it definitely was. Doesn't sound. Okay. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I think F2. I think personally will have a lot to tell for if we're going to get a lot of rookies coming up, or if there's going to be a few there. I think Mick Schumacher is 100% in a shout of the Alpha seat, depending on what happens with Kimi and Giovinazzi in the next year or so.
Yeah, like
The Seb is going to be very weird in the terms we don't really know what's going to happen, but I think wherever he goes, I mean, realistically, we're praying. I think everyone as an F1 fan is praying he doesn't quit. I think we want to see one more season of him after
oh,
Ferrari, and then
I
hopefully we get a Lewis battle, or hell, fucking even in Red Bull against Verstappen or Ricardo back. It's going to be very interesting, personally.
I'm just looking. I was just still scrolling here to the results. Eventually, yeah, Mick Schumacher finished 12th last year, but I can only fucking see results as far as Italy, so it doesn't go on any further. So I don't know if he got any podiums or not, but like he will
Mm.
eventually come up. Give him maybe another 2 or 3 years, maybe at the least, anyways, to mature a bit more and just to
Yeah, he needs time.
learn how to wrestle the fuck out of an F2 car. Like,
Yeah, I think if you put him into an F1 car, like a Ferrari car, he'll just end up like a Gasly. He just won't be able to cope, and
yeah,
he'll just fuck it up. And that's the Schumacher name is. The Schumacher name just carries a lot of weight with it. When you think Schumacher, you think back to the Ferrari F 2004, the Schumacher versus Alonso days. You think of Michael straight away. You think of all that red car winning every damn race. You know?
even with that, even before the Ferrari days, you think of Benetton. He
Yeah,
won
Benetton
two.
as well.
I think he won 2 world championships with Benetton as well. If I'm
Yeah,
not
before he
mistaken.
left them to go Ferrari in the 90s.
Yeah, but like he is one of those drivers that like he is one of those drivers that he kind of nearly should have retired and then just left it. But when he eventually came back to join Mercedes when they were just starting up after they bought it off
Coming,
Braun,
yeah.
and him coming back for 2 seasons, I think. Yeah, because he retired back
Mm.
in 2012 again. But
Yeah, he did. I think it was great seeing him back on the grid personally. Um, but I don't know.
back in
It's
2012
a
there
weird one.
was back in
Sorry.
2012 there was Schumacher he had that stage he had 7 world championships. Hamilton
Mm.
he had the one.
Yeah.
Vettel had that was what he had 3. Yeah, at the end of that year he had 3 championships.
Mm.
Alonso had another 2 on top of that. Like there was at least 10 world championships on that from people on like that.
That
Even
grid,
Button,
yeah.
yeah, even Button had a championship as well.
Oh yeah.
So like yeah, because after winning with Braun, so basically
Oh
it
yeah.
was just fucking. It was a year to watch Formula One with like 6 world
It was
champ. Yeah,
so
sorry,
good.
even Kimi. He was another one who had a championship as well.
And Vettel's all of Vettel's ones as
Mm.
well. The Red Bull days, the dominant days that I still cry over the fact I don't see that.
At least you'll get better. It gets worse before it gets better. Sure,
That is true.
look at Williams now. Look at McLaren now. They're rebuilding. Like
Yeah, sure. It's great to see that.
eventually Mercedes will have to fall.
They will. They can't. I think the big one that may fall them is the talk last year through the season that their main sponsor, Petronas, who's been on the grid for sponsoring teams for how many,
They've
like
been
near a decade at this
They've been
stage.
sponsoring longer than Red Bull. They were sure
Yeah.
they used to sponsor Sauber back in the day before BMW
Um.
came in.
There was talks a lot of Mercedes starting a MotoGP team and Petronas sponsoring it, which with the budget cost cap coming in, drastically reduces the money.
Hmm.
And also, if Petronas pull out Mercedes and Mercedes want to split their funding, you're talking about a team that's spending what 500-600 million a year, maybe more,
At least, yeah.
probably more, cutting that down to nearly I think it's 145 is the cap now.
I
145 million.
do believe it's between 140 and
150,
170 or something like that million.
somewhere there. Yeah.
But I was reading there a couple of weeks ago that Ferrari were thinking of heading back to IndyCar because they actually
Yeah.
did have a stint way back before it was actually even called IndyCar. I think from what I could gather, and they were maybe considering the with the new hypercar regs coming into the endurance championship now next year or the year after. I don't know if they've pushed it back as well. They might they might go build a hypercar for that as well.
Yeah.
Which still keeps all the people, but it just splits them since this whole cap has come in. You can only spend so much, and
Yeah.
and it'd be good to see as well. To
It would be, yeah, it'd be nice to see that. Nice to see a shake up, maybe some old and new teams coming and back. But I think to give my closing statement on after ranting for ages, I think interesting. Jenson Button actually, as I said, Sky Sports just retweeted Jenson Button's tweet, and I quote, "Well, that's a bit of a surprise. Only Vettel and Bonotto know the true reason for Seb walking / being helped out of a very big red door at the end of this year. Hopefully Vettel wants to continue, as it would be a shame to lose a driver with such talent from the F1 grid." Now that's very interesting. Jenson Button, that's very interesting saying why he was helped out. Now, that is very interesting.
I saw that as well, and I was going to tell you, but I completely fucking went down there.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Now I think it was a thing. I think it was a little mean, but you liked it earlier. But I think it's very true to this whole to finish up in this Ferrari situation. I think it was a little meme you liked, or it was one with basic. I don't know where it is. It's on your Twitter somewhere. I'm looking for it. It's Oh, it was the one, anyways, with like talk about the Ferrari drivers, and it was like Massa and Alonso, and then they moved in Kimi, and then they moved out.
Oh yes,
Massa.
yes. I know what you're on about now.
Yeah, and I think that is very true to what it could be happening. And Button stating that he was helped out a big red door. Now it could be just Jensen throwing in his 2 cents.
Yeah.
But it's going to be very interesting. Interesting. What did Nico Rosberg say? Nothing yet. No, Rosberg hasn't commented.
It'd be very interesting to see what happens. Like, I'm just going.
Yeah, personally, my closing statement is: look, I hope for the best for Vettel. I hope we get the season up and running soon when all this big bad virus dies down. I'd love to see Vettel do one more season. I'd love to maybe see go drop Bottas as much as I love him. Put him in that Mercedes car against Lewis. Let them battle it out tooth and nail. Let Vettel retire, happy man, and hey, we could see a Hulkenberg. Alonso could come back then into McLaren. It's just going to swing the door open, and it's shaping up to look like, if this is the way transfers are going, we are talking about probably some of the best racing we're going to get in a long while.
Oh, 100%.
Personally.
I couldn't agree more with that. Like
personally, so overall, I think, and to say who's going to get the seat Ferrari, it's between Ricciardo and Sainz. I think pretty much there's not much talk about anyone else, and any of the digging any of us are doing right now, I can't even find anything about talks about Giovinazzi or anyone. I think it's between
Ricciardo and Hulkenberg.
I think, it's them two.
Ricciardo, Sainz, maybe not Hulkenberg, definitely Ricciardo and Sainz. And as I said, as we said earlier, that is speculation. According to
it's pure speculation,
that
the rumor mill
signed in the next 48 hours. So take
if it isn't Sainz, I'm telling you this right now. Right now in this video, I'll tell you something. If Sainz is announced within the 48 hours, it's going to be Ricciardo, because if they don't announce Sainz now, like everyone's saying, and it doesn't happen, or it goes on for a month. If Sainz isn't announced, it's going to be Ricciardo, because Ricciardo will have a bigger, longer money deal, because he's a winner. He's a proven winner, whereas Sainz has only got a podium to his name yet. So I think Sainz for now, but if it's not proven in the next couple of days, hours, weeks, month, it's going to be Ricciardo, and then that leaves Renault open to fucking anyone. It's going to be a shit show, but it's going to be entertaining, personally.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Like, as I've written down here, Sainz might be to Ferrari, then Danny Rick might go to McLaren to fill up that seat. Then Hulkenberg might come back to Renault, since he already has history there. So it's complete speculation. That's the best thing about the whole Formula One, especially if the racing isn't going on right now. It's just a whole mill, and it's turning into which could be one of the best transfer silly seasons that's been out in the last couple of years. Anyways, not since 2017.
Oh yeah.
When Ricardo left.
And
Everton went up in arms altogether.
teams renaming, rebranding, different power units. Yeah, I think we could be looking for that, and I think that's what we're going to see.
Like
100%.
I was expecting it. Like as I said earlier, I was expecting it with the whole 2021 regulations coming in, but since they've been pushed to 2022 now, it's just going to be something. It might be something small this year, but then at the same time you have to look towards the middle of 2021 and that as well. Like with this whole with the whole overhaul, really. That's what you have to kind of look at the same time. But who knows? Sure, we're only human. Like we can only guess so much. We can't see into the future because we haven't discovered that power just yet.
Yeah, unfortunately. But yeah, my take is that that's my take anyways. Is that I want to see Vettel in a Mercedes or Vettel in a Red Bull go back for one season. Something like that.
That would be
Dream,
coming
really.
full circle. Really, him Vettel going back to Red Bull again.
Oh yeah, it would be lovely to see that.
But saying that, I wonder how the with Vettel and Max. I wonder how well they take each other or whatever.
I don't think that'd go down too well, personally.
Especially last year. Well, saying that with the fucking bumper cars with Cheryl, I don't.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen.
It'd be very interesting to see, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, look, I think all we can do now is just silly season is in full swing, so I think it's just to sit back, relax, get your popcorn, and watch Twitter and just watch the rumor mill.
Get your beer, get your cigar, whatever. Get other drinks maybe are also fucking perfect. Get your can of Monster. Get your Jack Daniels. Get whatever the fuck you want. Just sit back and just...
Monster's shite. Red Bull is a way better energy drink.
Fuck off. This is going to be another fucking discussion for another video, I'll tell you that now, but...
Yeah, that could be a good topic, definitely.
Tell me about it. But anyways, I might as well finish it here, because I was looking and it's nearly, I think it's coming up to an hour already or something like that.
Yeah, I think we're nearing the 40-minute mark.
47 according to Streamlabs anyways I have opened, so...
Yeah, well, I have to do my own recording it again for YouTube in 10 minutes time, so...
Fair enough. I have to come up with 40 minutes of fucking me driving around shitty fucking cars, whatever. I think I have something there from before, so...
Yeah, guys, if Trap doesn't link my YouTube channel in its description, it's Brownerzz Bullet. I post FIFA, racing videos, Gran Turismo, walkthroughs, so yeah, just cheeky link in the description, or just YouTube search there. I've got all my meta tags and everything, so you'll find me quick enough. Cheeky plug.
I'll throw your fucking shite in the description.
Aww.
Twitter and all.
See, this is what a good friend does.
Fuck off.
Fuck you.
But anyways, that's been Throp again with Brownerzz Bullet, Brown Bread, Gobshite, whatever you want to call them.
Fuck off, but thank you for having me anyways. It's been nice rant about Formula 1 and the city season fully kicking off.
Exactly, so basically, if you have your own 2 cents, whatever, just fucking post in the description below. I might look at it, I probably will end up looking at it, but yeah, hope you enjoy it. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, tell me to go fuck myself, because I always get off on that. And yeah, that's been Trop, and I'll talk to you later, guys.
Bye-bye, guys.